Have you ever had a moment where you are perfectly fine and then somebody swipes in left field with their emotional dysregulation and you find yourself kind of cleaning up after them? If you have had that moment happen for you, then you're gonna totally resonate with what I'm gonna talk about in this video. Before we dive into that, hi and welcome back to my channel. This is the Starlight Psyche. My name is DannieRae, and I am here to help you unlock your limitless potential and harness your very special inner light to create the life you desire to live. And if you are new here, please consider joining the collective by hitting that subscribe button, smashing that like button, and most importantly, don't forget to set the notification bell to all and never miss a moment of spiritual insight. And now that we got that intro out of the way, let's dive right in. Today, we are going to be uncovering profound insights that randomly came to me. I hit my microphone, I'm sorry. After 30, I'm not going to tell you guys my age. I'm ageless. Shh. But after a long time, we'll leave it there. No, that sounded terrible too. After, you know what? Never mind. I'm going to go ahead and share my story so that way we can get to the rest of it. This profound insight came to me just over the weekend. And I heard someone in my house, and they were just having a really hard moment. So I tried to block it out as much as possible. But it came to a point where there was a lot of verbal usage of mommy daddy words, loud adult words being used. So I was like, dang it. So I went out there and I was like, hey, what's going on? But the person couldn't hear me because they were using a vacuum, which did not work. And getting super frustrated because the vacuum wasn't picking up the stuff on the floor. And so I was like, I had to like yell over the vacuum to be like, hey, hey. And they heard me last minute and they're like, why are you yelling? And I was like, well, I just wanted to let you know that vacuum doesn't work. And they were like, throwing out a whole bunch of stuff. And I was like, it's okay. Like there's a broom in the laundry room. So they went to go look for the broom and they couldn't find it. So they became even more frustrated on top of the already frustration that was there. So at this point, I'm in like hypervigilance, right? And I'm trying to maintain the situation and shed some light and positivity. Like, it's gonna be okay. No, it's right over there. You can find it. It's just a couple crumbs on the floor. It's it's all right. Like, don't be upset. And even though I was doing that, it started to turn into a meltdown. Not good. So this is the big part. You're gonna want to pay attention to this. When that meltdown occurred, I walked into the laundry room, picked up the broom and the dustpan attached to it, and you know what I did? I started sweeping. And I'm just sweeping along and I'm like, hey, it's okay, here's the broom, and next time if you're feeling a little overwhelmed and you start to feel like you're having like an emotional meltdown, the best thing to do is to go get some socks and put those on, but if I feel crumbs or cat litter on the floor, I tend to go into a sensory overload myself. So I just gave some information, like, whenever I'm in a sensory overload, is this how you feel? And they were like, yeah, that's how I feel. And I was like, okay, oh, that's good. Now we've put a name to what you're feeling. It's not just frustration, it's a sensory overload. So I gave that information to them and they were like partially listening, but then they started taking care of their food and preparing it, and then started changing the subject to something else, and then they walked away while I was trying to calm them down. And I found myself still sitting there sweeping, right? And they walked away. And as soon as I saw them walk away, my brain had a moment, a full moment, and I froze. And I went, whoa, why am I sweeping? Why am I cleaning up the floor when you were the one who was upset to begin with? Just this supernova of frustration from your own sensory overload. And now you walked away And I'm here on my own, cleaning up something that I did not have anything to do with from the start. I was not the person who had the sensory overload. I was not the one experiencing what was going on. I didn't have a problem of the floor having crumbs. It's a kitchen, it has crumbs. And when all of that happened, it was so fast. It was like a millisecond. And I think my brain broke at that moment. To be honest, I think my brain broke, but it broke in a great, beautiful way, because then when it cracked open, it was like, oh, like this whole flood. And this flood led me like a freaking bullet train all the way back through my childhood. And it was like, like all these moments started to align. And I saw how long I have been doing this. I've been doing it my whole life, my entire life. Not just with parents, it was friends, it was coworkers, it was romantic relationships, even my children at some point. And I felt something inside of me transform back into being little me. And just to show you little me, that's little me number 1, little me number 2, and little me number 3. Now, those cute little photos, this this little being, okay? This very special little Ninja Turtle. She was sad. I felt it. I felt it within me. I went backwards to this. I went backwards my whole life to all these situations of how long this has been occurring for me. I felt angry. I felt sad. I felt hurt. I felt like I had let myself down, even though I knew that during those moments of having those things happen, I didn't know. I wasn't aware. I thought it was completely normal. And I started to get overwhelmed with all these emotions, all the sadness. I felt all the times that I unconsciously put myself in that position to clean up other people's messes, to caretake them, to people please them, to regulate how they were feeling, to create a safe environment for myself. Since I wasn't really provided that, I hope I don't get emotional here. And if I do, it's gonna happen. I'm sharing some rawness here, guys. I really, really am. Because I want you to know that this stuff is not just stuff that I read on the internet. A lot of the things that I have to share really come from my life. And it is extremely important for me to share it with you guys. So if this helps change someone else's life, then I've done my job well. So I was not diagnosed with ADHD or any autistic traits at that point. So being a person who had those things going on and not having anyone to be able to support me or tell me what it is that I was going through or how to manage what was happening in the outside influences in my life, to cope with it, to mentally heal from it, I internalized everything, and everything became my fault. And I felt like if I could fix the problem, everything was going to be fine. But the reality is that was never my weight. This little hair is bothering me. I'm so sorry. It was never my weight to take on trying to manage everybody else's emotions. Our brain tries to save us and protect us, and it creates all these different ways to do so. The people pleasing, the caretaking, the hypervigilance, the trying to, solve other people's problems in order to make ourselves feel safe again is a result of those situations from people who did not know how to manage their own emotions and provide us with the safety and love and care that we deserved. So when this profound moment came to a close and all of those emotions were pretty raw and they were brought up, set the broom off to the side. And I went, nope, I'm not doing this. I am not doing this. I walked upstairs in the bathroom and I was in tears, just waterfalls, okay? It was an emotional release from all of that pent up subconscious caretaking that was never mine to do. It was never mine to do, and it's not yours to do either. And I'm like, I declare I'm never doing this again. I am not responsible. This is not my weight. I am free. And when I said that I was free, I just I'm getting a little choked up, honestly, here. Like, I'm getting chills. Look at this. I'm getting chilled up. But when I said I am free, I felt it. I felt it leave my body. And I felt like sorry. I felt like I felt like I had connected with it. Oof, that's tough. You know, I felt like I had connected with the inner child. I felt like I had connected with my teenage self. I felt like I had connected with all those points, those sections in my life, those numbers of me where I was hurt from these situations. And I just embraced her in every stage which she showed up as. And I just said, "You're safe. You know, you're safe now. You don't have to do this anymore. Okay? You've done it for so long and it's hurt you for so long, but now we know. Like, now we see it. And it was the perfect time to see it. If I had seen that earlier, I probably wouldn't have been able to process it. I probably would have completely dismissed the whole thing. And I do believe in divine timing for everything. So I feel like at that moment, with everything that's been going on in my life, I've probably had like, I don't know, like 3 spiritual awakenings at this point. And I just recently went through another one, which has brought in huge changes to my life. And I feel like if I didn't have that happen recently for me, I would never have been able to receive that information. Like, I had to be in that place to realize, to already be breaking free from subconscious things and gaining my self-empowerment back, calling back my own power from people I've given it to. And that's the hardest part, is that we realize that we have done this. We've co-created these situations. I do think that there is an intent to it that is beyond what we can imagine. It's part of a spiritual journey. Having that moment happen for me, you know what? I have felt great. I have felt great. I forgave myself in my mind. I also forgave the other person who they have no idea that they are even doing this. And unfortunately, I can't even bring it up to them because they are not in a consciousness that would be willing to accept this information. I will take care and show up for people in my life. I'm here for people who need assistance. I'm not just going to be like, well, boop, all, you know what I mean? But the subconscious actions of trying to create a safe place for me, because people around me are not attempting to do that on their own. Yeah, that's gone. That is no longer on me. I'm no longer doing it. I say is no, and I means no. I'm no longer going to be attempting to clean up other people's messes. Like, literally, I was sweeping. Like, that's being an emotional Cinderella. Ooh, emotional Cinderella. That's like a whole thing. Wow. But yeah, I'm not going to be an emotional Cinderella, and I don't think that other people should either. You know, it's cool to show up for people and care for them when they really need it. Catch yourself the moment you start to feel drawn to going towards them when they are having that moment for themselves, to have the awareness of, this is theirs and this is mine. And I did make a video on that as well. So separating what is theirs from yours is a really, really healthy practice. When you are emotional Cinderellaing the other person's dysregulation, that can take a lot out of you. And your energy is extremely important. Your energy is a currency. It is so important. It is a unique signature. It is expensive. So you can't just go throwing it out willy-nilly every single time somebody is like, I'm emotionally deficit, my emotional bank account is low. No, you can't do that. Why? Because you got to buy yourself food. I'm getting too metaphorical, I'm sorry. But you've got to put your emotional currency in your emotional bank first. If your bank isn't full, how are you going to help anybody else? So that's basically the situation. Just a profound moment that occurred for me that led to figuring out that I had been caretaking people for a long time, and it was at my own expense of peace of mind and healthy mind and happy heart. And I listened to the universe this time, and now I will not repeat that pattern because I'm free. If you did find this information helpful, if you have ever experienced this before, or if now after watching this video you do catch yourself in that moment and you're like, oh, emotional Cinderella, even if you've already gone through it and you've already cleaned their shoes, you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm gonna put that in the video. I might. You know, you swept up after them and then you go, oh crap, I did it again. That's okay, because you realize realize that you did it in the first place instead of just continuing a subconscious pattern like before. And that is something to be 100% proud of for yourself, because next time you're going to catch it. You're going to know immediately off the bat, emotional Cinderella moment, you are also creating a new and healthy pattern. And those are always beautiful. That's what we're here for, right? To learn, then upgrade and rewire, and make our lives happier by doing so. So if you like this video, please subscribe to my channel so you don't miss out on any spiritual insights. Feel free to drop a comment below. Let me know how things are working out for you. Until next time, shine bright and illuminate your life.